Just really want to impart upon you, decolonize your African mind and actually evolving to a place where you become fully functional and reanimated. Let me be clear, I'm here for Ubuntu. Me personally, I am a child of the universe. I come and go, I move, and I am with spirit and energy of all people in all space and places. But I'm here to tell you that we as a community, we ain't there yet. As a community, no family, we're not there yet. And skipping the dots in between, to me, looks like escapism. It looks like you're not really willing to do the work. And I'm here to tell you, I don't really want to deal with spaces with people that aren't really doing this work. Because you know what happens? There comes a time when there's going to be some information or a system or a circumstance or a behavior that you need to have that you won't have. And in desperation, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to do something underhanded, deceptive, sneaky, parasitic, like I have, oh my God, let me count the ways, because you skipped all the dots in between. I can speak on this because I've been on the receiving end of all those people who postured and who imitated and who black fist and who did all the things, right? So because I know this, I'm a solution-based thinker, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the boo-hoo and the pat-pat. Yeah, it happened. The circumstance happened. I flushed it through. But I realized what the solution to that is. And the solution to that is making sure that people have the skills to be able to fill in all the dots in between. The learning process happens in levels, right? Perfect example. When you learn to speak and read, you first learn sound. As a baby, you learn to hear yourself utter and make audible sound, and you were able to hear and process that through your eardrums, through their sensory, and something occurred. Then you learn to repeat what people say, mama, say dada. So you were learning and you were processing, and that was happening simultaneously. Then you learn to see letters. Then they taught you in nursery school what those letters mean, what the sound is, and where to place them. C-A-T, cat, k-at. That's levels of learning, compiling on the previous set of learning faculties. And that's how it happens when you decolonize your African mind. And then you also have to assess in our social landscape, there's a lot of subterfuge. There's a lot of misdirection that's happening. So now that's a process of gaining. Maybe you got some step, maybe you gotta have to take 2 steps back because what you picked up from over there, religion, this philosophy, that theory, didn't really get you to decolonize in your African mind. And you didn't decolonize your African mind because you ended up misdirected. And now you're moving on a track that's not getting you there to fully functional reanimated African. I'm not telling you what I know. What I heard, I'm telling you what I know. I beg your pardon. I'm telling you what I know because I've been on the receiving end. Remember, 2 things are happening at the same time. I actually practically live this work in my daily life with family, friends, and community. At work, there is no costume. I don't take off black, hang it up and put it away. I don't. It doesn't matter who I'm in company with. People of color, African people, continental African, African, Southern Africans, people having a white cultural experience, non-melanated people, it doesn't matter. I'm not a change agent. I've grown a being that is all the time being. And that is a fully functional reanimated African because that's where, as an African, that's where we begun. We begun in the place of spiritual energy, just being. So the dots in between, when you look on your chakras, there's a space right here. But you have several spaces above that of development. But just about right here is fully functional reanimated African. I'm just trying with our highest possibility just to get us here to our functional being so that once you get here, I am certain that getting here will then take you here, 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 and you will continue to ascend in your leveling, in your processing. Because right here is a functional capacity to be able to process truth, action, create, commitment. Your behavior has now developed a pattern of righteousness. Your mind has developed a pattern of righteousness. See, there's a lot of subterfuge, a lot of misdirection that allows you to be manipulated where you never get here. There's a lot of people that pretend here with the black fist and all the charismatic rhetoric and the costumes and all that. I'm on the receiving end. I'm telling you, they're not there. I work with them. I'm in family and community in all of the spaces with these people. And your behavior and actions are not showing up. So what I can do to contribute to that is support with this effort on the real doing and the real word on what it means to be the fully functional reanimated African. And what your mind should be doing when you're a fully functional reanimated African, what your tongue should be doing as a fully functional reanimated African, what your heart should be doing as a fully functional and reanimated African. These are things that are supposed to be a part of your living functional experience, and you've not heard it. I didn't hear it. I did a lot of thousands of hours and years of research, decades. Okay? And for the people that had it, when it wasn't as beat down as it is now, because 50 more years of trauma beat down causes a psychosis to occur. Right? Already trauma, now compiling trauma and more trauma. So the people who weren't as traumatized, they were traumatized, but not as traumatized as a body of people today. 100 years ago, 125 years ago, they had different faculties. They are some of the only ones that I've read that were able to reach here and here and here and here. I haven't met all the 9 billion people on the planet. Let's not get that twisted. I've not met all the 9 billion people on the planet. And I'm certain that there are Africans that are there and there and there and there. I know there are, because I'm a living proof and I can't be the only one. So this is what I know. But I do know that majority of the people that are moving around space and place, I have statistical data that proves that their minds are not decolonized. You are operating as an agent of the matrix, whether you are conscious of it or not, because you didn't intentionally do the work. If you don't intentionally do this work, I mean like intentionally go in and do precision maintenance. Precision, because the nuanced mechanisms that the white center consciousness and the system has, I'm here to tell you, if you do not do precision, real deep, meticulous, and you know what? Real deep, meticulous is not really a part of our social landscape. Because our young people today just feel like they're supposed to get it because they showed up. So the psychosis and the social behaviors and the things that are happening in our environments aren't really getting us there. And we accept because we accept coddling. We accept comfort. Oh, we want to be comfortable. So we're willing to be comfortable in doing things the wrong way. And cutting corners. And siphoning and usurping and parasiting off of one another. But because nobody says anything. Oh, better yet, the religious one. We're under grace. So we should forgive. Absolutely not. Not coming from a person who has been on the receiving end of the breakdowns in that behavior. Absolutely not. I'm not willing to give. I don't do no participation awards. If you didn't do no work, you didn't get nothing. I'm only in cause and effect, because getting here is based on cause and effect. Because you meticulously did the work, you were able to elevate your levels. Yeah, this is foreign to people. And in fact, we walked into a society today, we're being held accountable, which is part of what this process is violence to some people. Some people experience this as violence because their minds are utterly misdirected. See, they put this thing into the social landscape. It was put into our psychosis, implanted into our behavior. And we picked it up because everybody's looking for a way to soothe their trauma. That's basic human nature. So you've been played to be played out. They played you in. My old homie from back in the days when I was 16, 17, he said, yeah, they play you in to play you out. They played you in to play you out. Now you're functional, everyday, reflexive behavior. When you go into your mind and you start looking for things and your brain is saying things to you, it is saying all the wrong things to you. All of them. See, this is why there's a challenge in accepting support, leadership, advice, and counsel from people who have not meticulously done this work. That's for a person like me. So when people say this, he thinks you all of that, or you think you know better than you think you know so much, not really. I don't know all the knowing, but I do know that you have not decolonized your African mind. My goal set, my intention, and my trajectory is different. So if you don't have those faculties, you can't really counsel me. There's things in the matrix that you can talk to me about, and I'm willing to receive that. But as far as this journey of becoming a fully functional, reanimated African and elevating your consciousness to a functional way of being that allows you to be a contributor and not a parasite, right? See, that's not the basics. See, that's too casual, cordial for me. I have experience. My world has been shaken more than once because of these dysfunctional. I'm way passionate, and I'm holding this thing real hard, like because you got to know the right process in order to be on the right track. See, what they're doing is they're misdirecting you. That doesn't benefit me. I don't get no benefit from continuing to add to the myriad of the foolishness that our people have been taught. We are a sum total of our environment, and guess what we've been creating? Absolutely nothing. All you're getting and all you're ranking up in the matrix do not contribute to being a fully functional reanimated African. All that means is that you have a better seat in the master's house. That means you are still, maybe you're just an enslaved one that just gets to take showers every day. I'm just saying, like not like the ones the field Negroes that's out there. They don't get no shower. They get the slop or whatever's left. They can work that out. I'm just saying, they live in the barn with the animals or what have you. You just happen to be able to take showers every day. I'm just saying, your plantation takes a little bit better care of you. What happened? I don't understand. Are we mistaken? Are we so now comfortable that we're no longer aspiring for sovereignty and independence as African people, which is where we begun, right? So to decolonize your African mind, it's really important that we all gain these faculties and just deal with it. Like just deal with it, because guess what? It doesn't last forever. It doesn't last forever. My function is practical. The application is practical, but you have to note it. You don't just get to leave it on press and play, not until you develop new reflexive behaviors. This is called NLP, neurological reprogramming. Until you do that and create a different pathway, you have neurological programming that is now within your consciousness that causes you to behave against African people. It causes you to think and behave and act in ways of malice. Sometimes people have this behavior, this consciousness, and they are in positions of authority. And they can actually do things that can hurt people or help people. Can you believe that? And you won't be doing but so much, because your metrics can't be what's allowable and what makes the matrix comfortable. Because fundamentally, what is helpful for African people will harm this system. Let me just be clear on 100% with you on that, African. There is no dancing and there is no teeter-tottering in between. Other people's systems hurt African people. All these things that you are experiencing, that we experience as a community, are a direct result of the health and wealth of other communities. So let me be very clear. When you stand up and become a fully functional and reanimated African, and you begin to rank yourself up, your well-being is going to harm this system, because that's how they created it. So African, as you rank up, you get to create a system that is in a benevolent space, that is balance and in equity. You get to do that, but you first get to do it for yourself. I'm telling you, because two things are happening. I'm experiencing this work, and I'm teaching this work. And I'm teaching this work from an informed, experiential, and scholarly perspective. I'm not soapboxing just because I'm a charismatic speaker and entertaining in my approach and my anecdotes and my antics. That's not the point. The point is to stop this behavior, because I don't want to experience it in my life. I don't want our people to experience it in their lives. I don't want us to be suppressed as a community because we have negative neurological programming that causes us to behave and act against our best interests. I have this commitment. I hope you take up this commitment, because it's not just jargon. It's not just rhetoric. And there are maintenance conversations about the things you do within the matrix. And there's plenty of people out here business coaching and telling you how to get money and how to real estate and all the Bitcoins and all the things That's their lane. This is my lane. This is the thing that I'm passionate about. And most of us haven't really done the metrics to really decide that this is something that we need within our being. Because we think that we're coming out of our brain with the thoughts that we think that are good. But I'm here to tell you, having been someone on the receiving end of those people who thought they was okay, I'm doing good. I'm getting the bells and whistles and ribbons and clap it up since from the Matrix, so I must be doing good. If the Matrix is applauding you, then you're not doing good for an African. Because the Matrix don't applaud nobody doing good for the sovereignty and independence of African people. Remember, I had just said the health and well-being of African people is going to mean the harm to this system. So if you're actually doing things that help African people, you won't be getting any bells and ribbons and clap it up from the Matrix. Just to be clear. You need to know this. Okay, what they do is they misdirect. And they say, yeah, that little thing is good. Keep doing that because you get to have all of these people over here looking that way instead of that way. And they love, when they make the brother man, the harm. They love to use us to harm each other. That all helps with that neurological programming. Those are the optics that process the neurological negative programming when we're accustomed to seeing the brown person as the harm. It further solidifies our concept of that we can't trust each other. And we continue to align ourselves. And for some reason, so many of us get in those positions, and it doesn't ever occur to you to say, you know something, I'm not doing this. Whatever it takes, come what may. I'm not going to be the face of harm to African people. But you know what? Some of them be so deep. He who loves his life will lose it. They be so tight up in that matrix. They don't want to see all of their glory just come crumbling down because you know that's how the matrix operates. They only give you but so much rope and then they reel your butt in. But that's only because you created a system where you are subordinate in a system of oppression. This is why you should be striving to create a safe space of sovereignty and independence for yourself. Because this right here is not what is meant for an African. It's not. It's someone's dysfunctional, demented reality of what they believe life is supposed to be like. African people advocating for their own well-being is not even a part of that conversation. It's bizarre. It's bizarre for me, and we can talk about it until the cows come home. But the point of it is, you being the solution. Be the difference that's different. People make things happen, and people don't make things happen. Anything that's happening, good or bad, is the responsibility of a person, a human being, is creating that outcome. None of these deflectors or these side shoots of the foolishness. Oh, forgive, and oh, it's just the system or it's the rules, regardless of any of that. A person did the thing that caused harm to people. People voted a thing in place. People advocated for harm that came to those people. People took resources from those people. People did that. Okay? And people get to correct that. People get to be the difference that's different. You get to be the difference that's different. I live a life of functional reanimated African every single day. And I have been living it so long that my energy unfolds people right before their eyes. They can't even believe it. I haven't said a word. I haven't opened my mouth. If people's spirits and energies are out of balance, they have to stay away from me. Listen, I'm just assessing it myself over the past decade. That's how it works. I prayed since 13 years old, coming out of Big P from the group home for protection. Coming out of SA for protection. Coming out of being bullied in school. I prayed for protection. I didn't realize that our ancestors, that divine, would implant me with a type of frequency that literally repels that foolishness. So when they be talking about that B thinks she all of this, or that B thinks she's smart, that be the spray. And then roaches scatter. I just got to accept it like that. It is what it is. But my spirit is aligned in righteousness and the balance and harmony. That's just what it is. I'm enjoy. I'm wearing it in the way that I need to wear it. I'm just trying to navigate within the matrix, and I'm trying to get some more people on point with this work so that we can actually make some things happen, so that I can get some flexibility, so that I can make some room for myself. Yes, it starts with the being. It starts with the one. Yes, I'm living this work, and I'm hoping to get some more people. And I'm also exposing the foolishness, because guess what? That's not how it's done. Those things, that's a deception. That's the cloak and dagger. Be careful. Be careful, African, because your mind is playing tricks on you. Your mind is playing tricks on you. So that means that you have to go in there and do that meticulous. You got to do it. You got to get in there real close and personal. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for coming back to the Keys to Soul Powerhouse. This is truly about doing that work and understanding there's not a straight line, family. There are dots in between. We must do the whole, come full circle with it. Peace, power, and blessings. We here are a stand for the sending of the African soul and the opening of the African spirit. Peace and blessings.